Modern dating doesn't just feel hard, it feels backwards. You do everything that you're told is right, and it only makes things worse. You try showing interest, and you come off creepy. So you try holding back, and you come off boring. So you try being confident, and you come off threatening. So you try being respectful, and you're put in the friend zone. And maybe one day you do actually get a girlfriend, and you try showing affection, showing that you actually care for her, but then you're being needy and obsessive. Men feel constantly gaslit about what to do and what is right and wrong. We're told that it's attractive to be confident, yet we're also told that it's chauvinistic and threatening to assume that she would even want to talk to us. We're told that it's attractive to have a plan and to lead the way, but we're also told that it's arrogant to assume that we would know what she wants, and that we're taking her independence away by doing things for her. Women are constantly saying they want to be in a relationship, and they're wondering where all the men have gone, while in the same breath saying that they don't need a man.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because they suck.
It feels like the rules change with the weather and you are always wrong. So why is modern dating so maddening? Men are caught in a culture-wide double bind, which is a situation in which a person is confronted with two irreconcilable demands or a choice between two undesirable courses of action. Men are expected to initiate, lead, desire, and take risks, but we're also punished for initiating, leading, desiring, and taking risks. Either way, you're doing it wrong! In abusive relationships, the abuser creates a situation where you're expected to somehow do the right thing, but the rules are never clear, and whatever you do becomes wrong after the fact. And the abuser will always deny responsibility for the impossible situation you're in. It creates a situation where compliance is impossible, but blame is guaranteed. The result of this is that you have no idea what to do. You freeze. And this is the exact situation men are caught in on a culture-wide level. When approaching a girl or talking with her, do you ever freeze up? Well, of course you do. We all do. But it's not just that you're nervous. It's because every single action you could take could either lead to having a wife or being morally condemned. You have no idea until you do it. So the result is inaction. But here is the big issue. Attraction requires action, especially from men. Women will say it explicitly. They want the man to make the first move. They want him to get her number, ask her out, plan the date, pick her up, pay for dinner, to be the one to propose, to be the one to initiate sex. Blaine Anderson is a prominent relationship coach, and she did a study involving thousands of women, and she asked them if they would like to be approached more by men in public, and 95% of them said yes. Yet at the same time, any one of those actions could be totally fine or perceived as a threat, misogynistic, chauvinistic, objectifying, or evil. We are told to do all of these things, while also, at any moment, condemned for doing or not doing them. We open the door for her. Chauvinistic pig. We don't open the door for her. Asshole. Chivalry is dead. We approach a woman in public. God, how annoying. Can't you leave women alone? We don't approach women in public. God, men are lazy and worthless. The result of any double bind is that you freeze up. You become totally uncertain of what to do because you have no idea how to avoid the negative outcomes. So we spend our time being quiet, in the background, in hiding at home, not because we're lazy, it's the only way to stay safe from this culture-wide abuse. Our whole lives, we've been caught in this double bind, and we experience it when we talk to women. It's not that there are two types of women out there, the good ones and the bad ones, and silly men, you just need to be talking to the good ones. It's that we encounter this double bind with women at some point. Sure, she might not condemn us for opening the door for her, but she'll condemn us for showing our emotions or initiating sex. It's just a question of when and in what way this double bind will show up. This isn't about being bad at dating. It's about being trapped in a no-win situation. But here's the thing. Women aren't lying about wanting you to approach and all those other things. It's not that women be crazy. It's not that women are all awful and we need to hate them. It's that women have also been raised hearing deeply conflicting messages. This conflict is between our desires and our sense of morality, of right and wrong. Men and women both want love, sex, connection. But the second we try to go after it, we've got all these ideologies in our heads telling us that it's wrong to desire it or it's wrong to pursue it in the way that we're pursuing it for one reason or another. Men want to find women attractive, and women want to be seen as attractive. But the second you do, it's objectification, it's sexualization, it's dirty, it's creepy, it's wrong. The moral message is, men aren't supposed to do it, and women aren't supposed to like it. Men want to approach women, and women want to be approached. Yet we've been told our whole lives that men only want one thing, and that men constantly approaching is so annoying, and that men are threatening, so men feel like they shouldn't do it, and women feel like they're in danger when it does happen. We have desires. It's what it means to be alive, but it's our sense of what's right and wrong that's causing the problems. And of course, the ideologies around us will tell us that it's our desires that are the problems. Men must desexualize their brains. Women must be independent from men, not just financially, but to not care about them at all. We feel like we have to repress our desires in order to be good. So men end up being apologetic with women. We try to minimize our presence. We try to be asexual with women. The result is that we destroy our sexual attraction. Because here's the thing, when our desires conflict with our morality, our desires don't just disappear, they become our shames. Men don't just stop finding women attractive. He looks away when the woman he is looking at makes eye contact. And instead of feeling free to display that attraction in public with her, he instead masturbates to porn in private. We don't just stop having desires that our beliefs tell us not to have. We repress them out of shame. They bubble up inside of us and explode unpredictably. And the idea that we should feel ashamed of our desires didn't appear randomly. Western culture has a long tradition of distrusting the body, treating sex as dirty, low, immoral, a vile temptation, treating desire itself as dangerous and something to fight against. This obviously comes from Christianity. And today, feminism is pushing this same view hard. Male desire is framed as animalistic, predatory, primitive, and threatening. And female sexuality is framed as victimhood. And no, it's not just modern feminism. This narrative has been going on for almost 200 years now. Sarah Grimke, who was publishing as early as 1837, said that female sexuality is noble, male sexuality is vile. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, 1848, said marriage is legalized prostitution. Frances Willard, 1875, claimed that male sexual desire was the same as addiction, corruption, and vice. Charlotte Perkins Gilman, 1892, claimed that male sexuality is primitive, while female sexuality uplifts. Susan Brown Miller, 75. From prehistoric times to the present, I believe rape has played a critical function. It is nothing more or less than a conscious process of intimidation by which all men, me and you, keep all women in a state of fear. Dworkin in 87, sex is wartime invasion and occupation. Catherine A. McKinnon, 89, sexuality is to feminism what work is to Marxism, that which is most one's own, yet most taken away. In other words, desire is hierarchy. Feminism didn't invent the idea that sex is bad, but it's been fiercely pushing that idea for almost 2 centuries. Now, most people don't think about feminism like this, and they don't hold these ideas consciously. Most don't consciously think men are all evil and sex is vile. Most people think feminism just means respect for women and equal rights, that sort of thing. But here's the thing, ideas don't live in our consciously held slogans. They live in our subconscious, and they manifest through gut reactions, automatic judgments, and that feeling inside of us that tells us this is wrong or this is shameful. People can consciously believe one thing while emotionally reacting the opposite way. This is why we live in a world of constant contradictions. Feminism and other ideologies raise us to be suspicious of everything that makes dating and relationships possible. Consciously, we want relationships. We can say we want relationships, but emotionally, we'll respond completely differently. And the consequences of this can be seen everywhere. like the death of polarity. We're told all the time that men and women are essentially the same, that any difference between us is just a social construct that needs to be wiped out. But when we erase our differences, we erase the recognition of our sexual identities, and sexual tension disappears, and attraction dies. We can also see this with the death of romance. We're told that romance is chauvinistic. It's men's way of keeping women dependent on them. It's old-fashioned. It's just a social convention. So men stop planning dates. We stop leading. We stop pursuing. We stop appreciating all the ways in which men and women engage with each other sexually. And we end up being in relationships that feel like friendships with random sex. I can't tell you how many times I've seen young relationships and thought they were just friends or relatives because there was absolutely no real connection between the two of them. The result of us feeling like our desires are something to be ashamed of is fear and distrust on both sides. Men are afraid to act, and women are constantly on the defensive, afraid to trust men. Dating and relationships don't fail because people don't want each other. They fail because wanting itself has been framed as wrong. So what do we do? How do we make dating feel possible? We stop fighting ourselves. We end the war on our own desire. We've been raised in a world that shames us for our desires and the ways we express it. Think about the last time you wanted to approach a woman and the hesitation that you felt and the voice in your head telling you, "Don't bother her, you're being creepy." That's not being considerate. That's not doing the right thing. That's the shame talking. But see, an important shift happens in your mind when you stop believing that voice. You don't become more aggressive, you become more calm, more present, more honest. And that comes out naturally in your actions. Most dating advice out there that tries to give you confidence only gives you advice on how to talk to her and how to behave with her. None of it out there addresses this core issue of the shame our culture has instilled in all of us. When we don't address that, it doesn't matter what surface level words or behaviors you use, because deep down, you're still uncomfortable with the idea of your own desire. Sexual energy really comes from feeling comfortable with yourself. And the irony is that what makes you creepy is the shame in your head telling you, don't be creepy. When you're ashamed of wanting her, you become indirect. You hide your real intentions behind the pretense of friendly conversation. And that is what feels off to her. It makes her feel, this guy's creepy, he's hiding something. But when you're comfortable with your desire, you're calm and collected, and that's what feels attractive and trustworthy. And you become that way naturally when you address head-on this idea that you have to hide or apologize for your sexual nature or your sexual desires. Now, being direct does not mean being aggressive or pushy. It means being honest about what you want, rather than feeling like you have to hide it or smuggle it into some contrived conversation. So going forward, watch for the moments when shame takes over. Your eyes drop when she looks at you. Your shoulders pull in to take up less space. You apologize just for talking to her. These aren't personality traits. This is how the shame stops you from getting what you really want. And once you start seeing these habits, these patterns where the shame manifests, you can start to get control over them. When you can feel comfortable wanting a woman and feel comfortable being seen wanting that woman, that's when attraction becomes authentic and electric. This isn't a quick fix, but this is what changes when you stop treating desire as wrong. You become naturally present. Confidence stops being something that you fake, and attraction stops feeling dirty, like something you have to hide. And I know that you'll still have to deal with women who will treat you like a creep no matter what you do. But the thing is, the reason it hurts so much is because we don't have a good answer to their attacks. Deep down, we really do feel like sex is something dirty. So when a woman treats you like you're dirty, it hurts because it feels true. So when you let go of that, sure, it won't be nice to hear it, but it won't cut so deep. It'll be surface level because deep down, you'll know that you're not a creep just for desiring her. She's the poor fool who's still trapped in this double bind between desire and morality. Dating feels impossible because we are at war with our own nature. So end the war and things will start to make sense again. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. I'm curious what your thoughts will be in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. And if you want somewhere where you can talk about this subject, check out the link in the description below to the Discord that I have set up. It's a place where loads of guys talk about this very topic and try to work through it in a way that's healthy. So if that interests you, check out that link below. There's also loads of other links there too. But I hope to see you next time, and take care.
Subscribe to Eric. You Inwa.